Hello and welcome, this is Howard from HDS Electrical, and today we're going to share some of our customer frustrations and £750 light bulbs. Now, admittedly, that heading is slightly clickbait, but you will find out why these light bulbs are £750 at a minute. So it comes back to customer frustrations and dealing with what I feel is unfair customers, but we still have to deal with them. And we still have to try and be overly polite back, even though we don't think they're being fair. So this customer, we've done a massive garden lighting job for him. We've got 5 or 6 spike lights, 6 recess lights we had to cut into paving slabs, lots of junction box, wall lights, garage lights, £150 remote box wise remote lighting box, feeds in, separate feeds, separate RCBO to the board, all sorts of things. And then afterwards, while we're going through, he asked if we could do his garage lights, his utility lights, and fit some other lights for him. So he's got 2 quotes. First quote is about £1,500, quite a quote. We haven't invoiced a penny. Normally we might invoice a deposit to start with, just the way it fell and the way we got dropped on us by someone else. We didn't have the opportunity, we didn't have the time to. So we've got quite a lot of money. As I said, the remote box is 150 quid without everything else. So there's probably, well, there's quite a few hundred quid's worth of materials there. All the labour's done, everything's up and running, everything's working. The only thing we're missing is one of the spike lights. Somewhere the guys have lost a bulb. One of the floor lights, somewhere the guys have lost a bulb. It happens, 2 bulbs out, 2 bulbs missing, £1,500. At the same time, he said this work inside his house is urgent because he's having it decorated. Okay, so we rushed round and got it done. £500 was the work inside, including a bunch of down lights, a few strip lights in the garage, some other lighting. So we did all that, run in the next week, got it done before his decorator came, and I invoiced him. I said, here's the invoice for the second one. It just helped recoup in some of our costs while we wait for the bulbs to come in. And he paid me £200. And he let me know. I said, oh, I've paid you £200 towards that. I said, oh, that's a bit surprising. We finished the job. Why did you only pay us £200? He thought the invoice, because he obviously hasn't read or checked it, was towards the garden lighting job, the £1,500 garden lighting job. In his infinite wisdom, he thought withholding £1,300 was fair because we haven't fitted 2 bulbs. And I constantly see this. We finish most things, but we possibly can't finish one aspect because the plasterer hasn't done that wall, or the customer's lights haven't arrived. And they think it's fair to withhold huge sums of money for tiny jobs. And you know, customers, if you're listening, I'm not asking for all the money. In fact, in this case, I haven't even invoiced any of that work. And in my reply I said, oh, that's funny, I haven't invoiced you the £1,500 for, because we haven't finished fitting the 2 light bulbs yet. But it just amazes me that they think that's proportional and fair to withhold £1,300 for taking 2 covers off 2 lights, putting 2 bulbs in and supplying and finishing it. So that's why £1,300, £750 a light bulb. These are our £750 light bulbs. So like I say, customers, if you're listening, try and work with people a little. We don't know what happened to the light bulbs. Yeah, it's our fault, it's our responsibility why we haven't got them, which is why we haven't actually invoiced for that. However, we have paid out for days of labour for our staff. We have managed the job. I have spent hundreds in materials, armoured cable, glands, waterproof boxes, 11, 12 light fittings, £150 box, £200 contribution doesn't even scratch the surface of the money we've paid out. And we need that money back. Sometimes we invoice early. For aspects we've done, we always leave fair, overly fair amounts off because we need the cash flow. If we have 10 jobs that owe us £1,300, that's 13 grand. That might mean that I'm going without being paid at the end of the month. That might mean we have to put our suppliers off. Worst case, that might mean we have to put our staff back, and maybe they can't make their mortgage payment just because cash flow, this, I'm gonna hold my hands up, was on us. But what if COVID, the light bulbs couldn't arrive in time? Would it be fair to withhold £1,300 because of an issue that is out of our control? Would it be fair to potentially risk me paying my mortgage, one of my guys paying their mortgage for something that's out of our control? We don't ask for much. Well, we probably do ask for much, but that's another story. But just work with us a little, you know, cash flow is king to a small business. We haven't got loads of money in our bank account. We got a bit of a reserve, and you know what, last week we had 3 van issues. That meant not only did we lose 3 days time, which is part of the reason that why we haven't fitted these 2 bulbs yet, but also meant we've suddenly lost a good chunk of that healthy reserve we kept. So please work with us so we can just do our best running a small business. You know, we're not multi-millionaires. I'm not driving a big fancy car. I just want a little help so I don't have sleepless nights about worrying whether I got to borrow money to pay my guys at the end of the month. Thank you.